Hi, everybody. Dr. Debunk back again. I've been off about 6 weeks. Um, Busy, but sooner than later, I think I will be able to really be able to do videos every week or every 2 weeks. And as I've mentioned, the website will be up and running. Had to put that project on hold. I have it, it's just not public, but it's going to be a library of information from my perspective of human health. So just as a quick reminder, most of you are here because you know who I am, Dr. Debunk. I debunk medical myths, garbage, and crap spread by doctors and health professionals. And the trash can just keeps getting bigger. From the large sources, government to corporations to, if it's big, it's bad. Anyway, to be a source of truth for human health, I try to stick with that, although I get sidetracked into political and other issues. And so, as I've said before, and you can find the videos that review it, my concept of human health, how to achieve it, is based on theories of aging. There's 10 of them. These are the theories I've come up with after 40 years being a doctor and 30 years pursuing optimal health, what it means, basically Centurianism, why do the blue zones exist, why are there people that live to be 100 with great quality of health. Anyway, and so I've taken bits and pieces of everyone who's come before me and tried to organize it in a logical way, which is the theories of aging. What determines the speed at which we age, and what determines the speed at which we're predisposed to diseases, and why particular organs give out first. Well, that's what these 10 theories describe. So the easiest one is the circulatory theory of aging, which I did. I don't think it's on Rumble, but anyway, I'll make sure it's up there. But the circulatory theory says the rate at which you lose circulation to your organs is the rate at which you're going to age and die. But it's really the rate at which your cells lose their circulatory supply is the rate at which you age and die. There's 40 trillion cells in your body, and you have 100 billion supermarkets to feed them, capillary beds. 100 billion, not million. And so we're slowly dying from lack of circulation starting in the 40s, 2 or 3% a year. So if you live a life that promotes great circulation, which I talked about at length in the videos, you will resist aging and dying and disease predisposition because of circulation, or you can live a life that enhances the lack of circulation, which is the American way. So this one today is going to be the pollution theory of aging. So the pollution theory of aging, like all of them, say the same thing. The rate at which you age and die, or the contributing amount of pollution to the rate at which you age and die. I just don't say the whole thing. The rate at which you age and die is related to the rate at which your cells are being polluted. And that is a huge problem since modern technology has come along. You know, the illusion in modern science, because modern scientists, especially the sect of them that don't believe in anything, so this isn't going to be religious, but I believe in God, and I'll leave it at that. And you know why I believe in God? Because I'm a scientist and I'm actually kind of a stoic guy, but religious beliefs bring morality, but I'm religious because it's scientifically impossible for atheism and agnosticism to be real. They're not real. There cannot be life unless there's an external intelligence outside the known universe that ordered life to begin. So we can argue forever about what religion is correct. There has to be a God or we couldn't exist, and I exist. I figure you exist. You're watching this. So scientifically, atheism and agnosticism are out. Why is that relevant to this? Because modern technology, this little God that so many atheists believe in, men today, atheistic people today, believe that modern technology and science will solve all the problems of mankind. And they solve great problems. And I love technology as much as anyone. But the net effect is pollution. The net effect of technology is it's destroying us. We don't have a long time if we don't stop polluting the ocean. Like all this crap about climate, like uh, um, global warming or climate change. It's all a deception. Is global warming real? Absolutely. Do we know what it means? No, that's fake. If you bother to look at the data, you'll see that they can't explain why the temperature dropped from 1945 to 1975, and it blows away global warming caused by carbon emissions completely. So that's why they call it climate change, because they don't want you to look at the data. It's simple. You can see. But has the temperature risen over the last 150 years? Yes. What does it mean? Who knows? But the bigger issue that they don't want anybody thinking about, and I can't say why. These people have been clear about my dislike for the ultra rich and governments, is that they have their agendas, and it's not the health and wellness of you and I, but pollution of the oceans is the biggest problem we're facing. Pakistan, India, and China will kill the planet by themselves if they don't stop. They just dump the most hazardous toxic substances ever created. Do you know there's 220,000 created chemicals and substances in the last 100 years or so, a little more? No, probably 150 years. And every one of these are artificial and toxic one way or the other. And so we're going to get into that a little bit. But they're just being dumped. It's like, at what point does it kill the ocean? And so yet that should be the biggest concern, but yet it's way down on the list. They want to talk about air pollution and and climate change, which are real, but so we're going to talk today about some of that real stuff, the stuff that affects you daily. So the pollution theory of aging says that, like I said, that if you can minimize the pollution of your cells, you will maximize your life and resistance towards disease. So the list is long and complex, but I'm going to try to make it common sense, practical. What can you do? And this will probably be part one. I'll have to do it in two parts. But because pollution is a broader term, so mental health pollution, that will affect you. If you pollute your mind mentally, you're going to mess yourself up. And I'm probably going to do that separately on the next one. But for example, if you have a lot of factoid belief systems in you, it's a form of pollution of your mind. A factoid, if you don't know, is just a so-called truth, but really it's just been something people have been saying over and over or doing over and over again. And so we believe it's true just because everybody does it or says it, mostly saying it. And I mean, that's what the TV is. That's what, who watches the news anymore? Mainstream news. It's nothing but a pack of lies. They may start out with a factual statement, but then the rest of it, 95% for the rest of it, is just propaganda. They're trying to get you to believe something that has to do with money or whatever. But and it causes us to have a belief system that's a factoid. It's not real. That's polluting your mind, and you will have a more difficult life because of that, and it affects your health. The mind affects the body. Anyway, and there's a lot of that stuff, and because I'm going to be your little shrink, so yeah, I will have to do that all next time. So the top two sources of pollution today for the everyday person, me and you, is food and water. No doubt about it. And then the other contacts we get related to it in our living. So some of the easy ones to identify straight up, let me get my little list here. Cleaning products. Let me start with that. You do not get cleaning products on your hands. And we'll get to, I'll do it each one at a time. So cleaning products like these wipes, I don't care, Clorox wipes, or like all of them, most of those have something called quaternary ammonium in it. And quaternary ammonium, it is nasty. It is, don't touch those things. Quaternary ammonium can go right through your skin. It's not a barrier. And it is absolutely carcinogenic. It is super bad for us. So Like I won't even touch the Clorox wipes. I get either you wear gloves or get a paper towel and put that over the Clorox wipes or whatever brand. They're all the same. I'm not picking on Clorox. I mean, they work, they kill germs, but they kill our cells. So don't let them touch your skin. Try not to breathe the fumes if you're using liquid stuff. But most cleaning products, whatever they're using, now some have alcohol or peroxide, those are fine. There's all kinds of natural peroxide, alcohol stuff. Alcohol is not a big deal, but it can eat your skin if you get too much exposure. It'll dry it out and give you, it's like a contact dermatitis. So um, anyway, so that's nothing. This is the next one I have on my little list here, Teflon. I do a whole video on Teflon. It is a poison. Nanoparticles of Teflon exist. They may not ever leave our body. Look at the video. So get rid of your pans that have Teflon. Anyway, next thing on my list, air pollution. Practically speaking, it's insecticides and like solvents, like for those of you guys, carburetor cleaner and products like that, engine cleaners. Bad news, that stuff will eat you alive. Carcinogenic, cancer causing. But when you're spraying your house, there's a whole, someday I'll do it, but there are a lot of people doing YouTube stuff on natural insecticides. There's one guy, my wife sees him. I haven't really looked at, but he has a whole bunch of tricks to do using peroxide and other things, sprays, simple natural sprays that resist ants and other things. So if you can use natural stuff, I'm about ready to stop using that crap being sprayed around my house outside. Those are common things we contact with. Water pollution. There's two movies here, what you drink and what you put on your body. So most of you know, do not drink tap water. If you live in the city area, don't drink it. I don't care what they do to it, but you can probably shower in it. The skin is a strong barrier. But when it comes to this debate of, well, what's the best water to drink? There's no debate. It's deep well water. Again, what is Mother Nature? What does Mother Nature provide for us? Deep well water. Because the ground, decomposed granite, and the other, it's basically decomposed granite. The water is filtered. Water from the rain gets filtered. And a well that's sealed from the first 20 feet keeps everything out. And the second step is to get deep well water from mountain sources. That's purified, has a lot of minerals. It just has a different taste. So I don't care what you drink, but Avion, Fiji water, Crystal Geyser, Arrowhead, these are water sources that come out above 4,000 feet. There's no industry above there, so there's no pollutants. Some, I suppose, could get in from the rainwater because we see more and more pollutants being evaporated up with droplets. But it'll never get through the decomposed granite filter. And so drink fresh, deep water. Well, it's fresh, quick one. Deep well water from whatever one you like. And hopefully they don't start mixing it with, this purified water that they get from some crap well in LA or something. But these waters that are reverse osmosis and purified and blah, 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 water that's had it, and then they say added minerals for taste. See, that's a scam. See, do you really believe that these companies that are doing this hoo-hoo reverse osmosis, they're really cleaning it as much as they should? See, a while ago, I don't know, maybe 10 years, they started adding minerals to these purified waters. You know why they did it? Because you can use magnesium and sodium and chloride. I forget what else, another one or two they use. You can alter the taste of water to suit the needs of the individual type. See, people kind of have different tastes for the water taste. and you alter it with minerals. So they could dig water out of some nasty well in LA, purify the dirt out of it, that's it, and then add minerals to make it taste how they want. And you'll be like, ooh, this is like Avion. No, it's crap, you know? And so, again, do you trust big corporations that are doing this? They just want to sell you the water and they don't care if there's yeast piss in there. They don't care, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't need to tell you that because you wouldn't be on my channel if you didn't believe it. So deep well water, they don't have to mess with it. All you have to do is pump it out of the ground and filter the dirt and bottle it, and they're good to go. So I like Crystal Geyser. I like Fiji. So it's up to you. But all this, you know, and you can do it in your home, reverse osmosis and all that. And it's just these systems are expensive, really, and you got to change the filter more. But sorry, what cracks me up is you go to a grocery store and they got that stupid water purifier out there, and people are buying water and like, you really think the guy changes the filters at all? Why? Why would he? He's just maybe changing the dirt filter, the cheapest one. But anyway, but water is a huge thing. Get deep well water from whatever source you want. That's it. I mean, I don't think there's any question there. What's next? I'm going to get to foods at the end because foods are the biggest one. So all of you are probably some of you thinking that. So common things about it's a big one, cell phones. Listen, this 5G stuff is bad news. Bad news. You should always pay attention to your neighborhood because they're putting those stupid 5G towers up, and they are a powerful microwave beam. You don't want to be in line with one of those things. Anyway, but cell phones are microwaves. Do not underestimate the power of a cell phone to fry your brain. Keep it away from your head. Go on the speakerphone. Get the little ear thing. But it's bad enough if it's in your pocket. But this is going to slowly come out. But it's such a huge billion dollar industry. They're always just going to say it's fine. You're fine. You know, there's no scientific evidence. You know, because it's one big club technology, and they suppress the truth. But you know, they have done plenty enough studies. You have a hamster, put it in a microwave and turn it on, and see how long the hamster likes being microwaved. That's what we're doing. It's real. You know, so keep the cell phone away from your ear and microwaves 2 feet. The data I could collect that seems to be accurate. You got to be 2 feet away from your microwave when it's on. If it's a big one, like many, then maybe 3 feet. Stay away from it when it's running. You know, the mental health pollution I told next time. Plastics. That is huge. What's happened in recent years is the reality that plastic can exist as nanoparticles. The nanoparticles are little particles of anything that exist at a molecular size and can get through the cell membranes of our cells. Now, there's all kinds of other nanoparticles. It's not relevant to this discussion. There's good nanoparticles, but why? Buzz off. All right. So, but nanoparticles of plastics are real, but what is the magnitude of the problem? If they are as common as we are starting to see, it is a huge thing. And so since I just talked about microwaves, do not microwave plastics, anything in plastic, because you could be creating nanoparticles and it'll get in your food. No plastic. I don't care the magic. All this, we don't use BHP or what is it? I always mix up those initials. They talk about plastics that are safe. Liars. Debunk. There are no safe plastics that you can heat up. You heat up a plastic, you're making nanoparticles. Now, the degree of it and the type, who knows? But here's the problem. So a nanoparticle of plastic is something that's so small it can get into your cells. And if it gets into your cells, it's like pouring sand into your transmission. You don't want to do that. Um, so they are upsetting our cellular function. So as time, this will come out more. But for right now, the number one thing that we're exposed practically is plastics that are involved in heating or sunlight. So no way should that plastic be connected to something you're going to put in your mouth or drink. So, that's the whole thing. Plastic bottles. If you leave plastic water bottles in your car and it's summer, just throw them out. Do not drink them, because you notice how it tastes differently. Why do you think it tastes differently? What's leaving the plastic going into the water? It's a big deal because waters and food, top two things. So nanoparticles, and the reason it hasn't come out is because the nature of plastics is there's these long polymers or hydrocarbon polymers, long chains, and we didn't think, so a polymer of plastic, if it's as long as this pen, microscopically, then can you see the dot? Oh, there, you can just barely see the dot up here. A nanoparticle, relatively speaking, between the pen and the dot, there would be about 1,000 nanoparticles in the size of that dot if this pen was a polymer of microscopic plastic. They're small. And so basically, they assumed it's like what they do because it's in the benefit of production and profit margins. Because when we discovered hydrocarbons after World War II, basically, and it all took off, they saw these polymer chains, these long chains of hydrocarbons. Here we go. This would be this wire, of all different lengths, these long chains and they're all mixed together to form the fibers. I mean, you see these nylon ropes, but the latest one, the most strongest, is called Dyneema, and it's this polyethylene or polypropylene, I forget which one. But this stuff is like, Dyneema is 10 times stronger than steel fibers. It's crazy. This is almost a 1/4-inch Dyneema plastic polymer rope, and its break strength is about 6,000 pounds. It's crazy. It's way stronger than steel cable. Anyway, so because we saw them existing, they just made it up and said, well, they can't exist as little nanoparticles, with no studies, no information. So it's taken all this time to realize, you can like chop off teeny little bits of it, and then you do have nanoparticles. So anyway, I know I'm kind of going off the trail. So I think I'll stop there, and part 2 I will do food, because you might have to take a break. But food is the biggest source of pollution today on a practical, in practicality for what we can do about it. We are being killed by the chemicals and pesticides and byproducts and the hormones and crap that's in the food. There's no escaping it. The organic industry is kind of fake. We'll talk about that. But there is a solution. I'm going to give it to you. So that's it. I'm Dr. Debunk. 24 minutes, not bad. Debunking medical myths, garbage, and crap spread by doctors and other health professionals. Thanks for watching.